What's going on, HPP fam? Welcome back to another episode. We're gonna kick this week off strong with our TRX baseline. So this 2022 TRX is in for let's see, we're doing spark plugs, we're doing an upper pulley, we're pinning the crank, doing a greenback belt, doing a set of long tube headers. I think that's it. But I mean, that's going to be quite an upgrade for this thing. It's going to pick up some power. So that is exciting. We're strapping it down. We're going to get our baseline numbers, so that way we can compare them with our new numbers once all the parts are done. Also, I think it's a big truck. You got to back up, get this whole thing in there. Also, we received our new engine block for our Turbo 5.7 build, so that's exciting. Now we just need to get our rotating assembly and start putting that thing together soon. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, so I went to Mexico this weekend, and it was very cool. I just wanted to say thank you to all the people that came and said hi to me, shook my hand. I got to meet a lot of great people over there and see a bunch of cool cars at the meet this past Saturday. So thank you guys for the love and support of the channel as well. If you guys seen me out at the meet in Mexico on Saturday, say something down in the comment section. I do appreciate you guys. And hopefully I get to work on your cars soon. And then we will talk about, I know last week if you watched the video I said I was going to talk about Boo, and I will talk about it, and that way some of you guys that had some questions and maybe didn't get to talk to me this weekend will know what's going on with Boo and what we have done to him. So stick around, stay tuned, let's see what kind of power this TRX makes. So guys, we are finally gonna start diving in to our TRX, and I got some exciting news. Gio is not here today, and that's because his baby boy, to be specific, baby boy, was born this morning. I'm not sure exactly at what time, but I got the message at like 6:30 a.m. this morning, so somewhere around that time. So down in the comment section, guys, if you guys could go ahead and put congratulations in there, I'm sure Gio would appreciate it. He's now the proud father of 3 boys, so very exciting stuff. But let's dive back. So we're gonna get rocking and rolling on this TRX, and this thing's getting a bunch of goodies. As you can see, it's already got an AFE Momentum GT intake on it, and getting a set of headers. It's getting a pulley, pinning a crank, and some injectors, and then of course a tune. So this thing's gonna pick up some power. I am really looking forward to getting after this one. So got some tools. Go ahead and get this air intake off. As you can see, I've already pulled the PCM, get that unlocked, and got the battery disconnected. So let's dive in. Let's get this intake off. So guys, we're moving right along on our TRX. There's a couple of things I want to show you. We're also getting our 5.7 motor disassembled here slowly. As you can see, I've got the front snout off of the supercharger, and that's because we're changing the pulley. And as you can see, let me grab the snout here. We've got our Grip Tech 2.80 installed, and I wanted to show you, as you can see, there's a little piece of gasket right there. I've already started to clean it, and that's because if you look at the very top of the gasket on this snout here, I don't think you're going to be able to see it because I sat everything down. Yeah, right there. If you look at the top of that gasket, see it is torn right there. I noticed when I was removing the blower hat, once I got it off, I seen that gasket was ripped up top. So unfortunately, that stops me from putting the blower back together. So in the meantime, yesterday afternoon I did not film, but as you can see, I've got the new FIC 1000cc injectors installed. Just got to plug this side in. I'll probably hold off on that until the blower's back together, but either way, I went ahead and got that done. It's going to be a couple days on the gasket. Nobody has one. I find it comical that when we called Dodge on it, they said we had to buy a whole supercharger to get that gasket. I think that's a little absurd. Maybe the parts person didn't know what they were doing. Here nor there, we've got one coming from HHP. They had one in stock. So as soon as we get that, we'll be able to get it back together. So still, while I'm waiting, I'm going to move on with the modifications that we've got going on. And the next thing, I figure I'll work my way down the motor, is going to be spark plugs. So I've got some NGKs going in here, one step colder. This thing's going to stay on pump gas. So what I'm going to do is gap those plugs down and then get them slammed in here. And then I think we're going to attack the long tube headers after that, and then pin the crank. And hopefully by then I'll have our gasket and we can put our supercharger back together. But stay tuned, let's see how far we get. We are finally to the part of installing these Stainless Works long tube headers onto the truck. Now this setup comes with a mid pipe. It is catted. It is not going to hook directly up to what the customer already has. He does have a Borla catback exhaust system. This does not attach directly to it, so there may be some customizing going on, or we may have to hit our local exhaust shop up. But the headers are going to work, and hopefully the mid pipe section. We'll figure it out. But as you can see, I don't know if I showed you guys yesterday, still waiting on our gasket, so we haven't put the blower back together yet. Went ahead and pulled the spark plugs and put brand new NGK one step colder plugs, gapped them down to 25 and put them in. So that's all done on both sides. And then as you can see, there's a gaping hole down there because the stock manifolds and mid pipes have been removed on both sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this passenger side here, get that hung up in there, and see how far we get on these long tubes today. And maybe we might go ahead and pin the crank today or tomorrow. But let's see what happens. But some good looking stuff, good looking headers. Feeling good, guys. As you can see, we've got our headers on both sides of our TRX, and they are tightened down. Like I said, we still got to figure out our the Y pipe connection and the crossover, but very happy with how the headers have turned out so far. So in the morning we'll go ahead and get those finished up, transition our O2 sensors and get those on there, and then I'm gonna go after this crank and get this crank pin tomorrow too. Well, we received our gasket, so now I can get our blower snout back on our supercharger. So I've got it elevated, We'll go ahead and get the snout back on, get it bolted down, and get the blower set up all back together. So like I said, we got our brand new gasket and there's no issue with it. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing slapped together. Alright guys, so I've gotten as far as I can get on this Joker on this Friday, and as you can see, the blower is all back on, and we have our new greenback belt installed. Our headers are on. Still got to pin the crank and get our mid pipes connected, but we've got some things to figure out with that. Between the remote tuning and this and Gio being out, oh, I got TJ's motor back from the machine shop, so hopefully next week we'll start putting TJ's motor back in his car. So that's exciting. But that is gonna do it for this week's episode, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Next week we'll have this TRX all wrapped up and it'll hit the dyno. But make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell for me. Share this stuff. Love you. Peace.